Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ethan, and this is Roster United. This is episode 13, and this is part 3. Yes, we're going to finally finish Tales of Asgard expansion. Again, part 3. Today, we are going to rank all of the Tales of Asgard expansion characters, and we're going to see which one, and of course, in my opinion, which one is bad, okay, medium, and really good. So join me and let's begin. I also forgot to say, I always forget to say something. If you don't know or have any idea of what these characters are, it is totally fine. Or if you just forgot, that is okay. But if you just want to, know what I'm talking about, well, you can go to episode 11 and 10, if I'm correct. Episode 10 and 11. And there you can see that I'm going in depth with all 4 characters in those 2 podcasts. So you can kind of get an idea, of what these characters are and why I'm ranking them there. So just to save some time. Anyway, if you have or if you remember, that is fantastic, phenomenal. So let's begin, shall we? So again, we're gonna rate this from lowest to highest or worst to best. So we're gonna start off with number 4, and we're just gonna talk about why is he in this position and so on and so forth. So for me, my number 4th character in this box that is pretty bad compared to the other 3. This has to be Korg. Now, again, Korg has really good stuff. He's got lots of hits. He can't move. He can't heroic at all, and he has 3 wilds, which is normal. But he can't really move. He can't really save people and stuff like that. And that is one of the reasons why Korg is at the bottom. He's a big hitter, really good. He's got 8 hits, phenomenal. Plus, I do like his abilities, which is hit in both adjacent locations or deal 2 hits in your location. That is fine. But I've had tons of more experience. This past week, excuse me, I have played lots and lots of games of Marvel United, and I have just seen that sometimes a, you want a good hitter, but other times you don't. From this guy, Korg, you definitely want a big hitter, somebody who puts lots of villains out, somebody who kind of wants to, damage you, stuff like that. Personally, for me, I think a good example for Korg would be Hela from the Tales of Asgard, or no, excuse me, from the promos box. And Hela is a villain, and I think she would be perfect for Korg, just because. If you haven't played Hela, that's okay. I'll explain a little bit more later. Basically, Hela likes to like it has this wolf. I don't know if you remember in the movie, but she has this big wolf, and that wolf has to be defeated before you can defeat the villain. And that's hard to do because that wolf keeps coming back and comes back and comes back. I barely me I barely I barely made it alive, really. It was down to the last second. It was fun. That was a good experience to have. But I think Korg would be a good one for a big hitter. But again, he can't move, he can't save people. And in Marvel United, even though if you're going up against a villain that does lots of, puts out lots of thugs, and not a lot of civilians, it's still important to have heroics because for heroics you can defeat those threat cards, and that is something amazing, and that's something you really need. And this character does not have that. I really like it. Again, he is not the best team player. He only has 5 2 symbol cards, and for me, a good team player is to have again good or good 2 symbol cards. We see here clearly Korg does have that. He has 5 2 symbol cards, but it's not good enough. Sadly, he's got 5, which is good, but not super super good. So it's bad. Yeah. So for me, Korg is okay. He's not the best. Let's move on to number 3. My number 3 here is Beta Ray Bill. I like Beta Ray Bill, but I don't know if you remember in episode 10 I talked about Thor and Beta Ray Bill, and they literally have the exact same cards. There's nothing that changes except their abilities. But I do like Beta Ray Bill. I think he's good. He can move. He's got 6 moves, 6 hits. Really great. He's got a few heroics, really solid number of heroics, and he's got 3 wilds, which is normal. His ability, which is called Stormbreaker, which says deal 2 damage plus draw 1 card. That is really good. Not just deal the 2 damage, which is nice, but also dealing a card. Remember, the cards in your hand is basically your life. And if you run out of if you run out of cards in your hand, you are KO'd. And Better Ray Bill here can draw cards with his powers, but not just that, he can also deal damage. I like that. Now, you might be wondering, why am I giving so much credit to Better Ray Bill for his hits, since Korg can hit a lot? Well, that's true. Korg and Better Ray Bill have good hit numbers. Actually, Korg has a better hit number than Better Ray Bill. But again, remember, it's having a good flexible character. It's having a character that can kind of do everything. Now, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're like, okay, I want you to pick a heroic character. I want you to pick a hit character. I'll be the character that kind of goes in between and moves and stuff like that. That's fine. But Better Ray Bill here, he's very flexible. He can move, he can hit, he can do heroics really well. He almost reminds me of a good Spider-Man. And his ability is great. And yeah. And his team playing is okay. He does have some problems with his team playing. With his 2 symbol cards. See, the problem is he has lots of 2 symbol cards. Actually, he has 7 2 symbol cards. Can you believe that? That's phenomenal. The problem is they sometimes, I've had experiences where those 2 symbol cards didn't really work out. They were like hit and heroic, and stuff like that, where I can't move. And sometimes it worked. It was really well. It worked nicely. But probably it was just the setup. It was just the game that I had. I didn't really have a good experience with those 7 2 symbol cards. But other than that, he was really nice. I liked it. I truly did. But yeah, I think he's really good. But again, he's kind of the same as Thor, so I won't really talk a lot about Thor because, well, yeah. Let's go to number 2, or should I say tied with second, since Thor and Better Ray Bill are literally the same character, except for their abilities. So let's start this, I guess. So number 2, Thor. Number of symbols, really solid. Again, same like a Better Ray Bill, where he can move, hit, and do lots of lots of heroics and has his 3 wilds, but his ability is different. It says here 3 hits against a single enemy in your location. Now, comparing these 2 abilities, I personally think Better Ray Bill is better. Because, having that power is great, but what if the villain wasn't there? If there's no thugs or minions or threats that you need to deal damage with? What is the 3 hits against a single enemy in your location gonna do? Nothing. Now in Better Ray Bill, it's different. You can deal 2 damage, and that can, you can deal 2 damage, 1 to the threat, or 1 to a thug, or 2 to the thug, and then draw a card. That is more beneficial. So you know what? We're gonna change this. Better Ray Bill is gonna go second. Thor's gonna go third, because I don't like Better Ray Bill's ability better. Again, Thor, he's a really good team player. Again, he's got 7 2 symbol cards, which is great. His ability makes again his hits better, a lot better. I really like this character, and just like Better Ray Bill, he can do everything almost. Um, but again, if there's a problem or a situation in the game that you're playing right now, if it's with if it's uh against a villain that doesn't really put out lots of thugs, or a villain that has no health. That's happened to me before. Yeah, believe it or not. What is Thor gonna do? He could do everything else. He could save people. He can move around. But what's his good hits gonna do? What's his abilities gonna do for you? Nothing. Because if you don't have any thugs out there, or a good villain to play against with Thor, you're not really, or a good one. You're gonna do lots. But if pick a villain that doesn't really do lots of thugs, or doesn't really, put out tons of people, what is Thor gonna do? It's gonna be hard. Now the challenge might be fun. That challenge might be really cool. But again, what's he gonna do? And what is Better Ray Bill gonna do too? I mean, they're both in the same app. So yeah. Well, that was my number. Well, that was my number three. Number two is Better Ray Bill. I switch. And now let's go to the one, the only, Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie here is one of the highest rated, or the highest overall of all these characters. Now, that doesn't really mean anything for me. I can always rate a game, for example, Raiders of the North Sea. I can rate that like a 9. And then I can rate Deep Blue. I can rate that like a 8.5. And I like Deep Blue more, stuff like that. I can like Dune Imperium, and I can give Dune Imperium a 9, and I can give Lost Realms of Arnak a 9.5. But again, I like Dune better, and just stuff like that. Ratings is just there to see how good the character is overall, how good the game is overall. But how do I like it? How do I can give a rating about a game, but I enjoy more playing this other game, stuff like that. So same thing here with Valkyrie. And yeah, I don't even know what I was saying there. I was trying to make a point. I totally forgot. I got too hooked on that. All right, well, let's begin. Valkyrie, she can hit really well. She can do lots of heroics, and she only can move 3 times. But thanks to her power, War Song, she has 3 cards with these power. It says, you may move to any location. That is really awesome. Not good team player, but really cool. I like Valkyrie because she is a hitter. I love that. I think she's really good. She's a good hitter, but she also has heroics, which is different from Hulk. Because, again, Hulk is a big hitter, but he can move, which is great. On the other side, Valkyrie is a big hitter, but can save and clear threats, which is really well. But, again, she only has 3 moves, but with her ability, well, you can move to any location, which is really, really nice. She can move around, use the hits, use the heroics, and that is great. She's not a good team player, but, if you team her up with a good team player, she would be good, I think. So, yeah. I really think her ability is good. I think it's great. She only has 5 2-symbol cards, which is not good, but you know what? That's fine, I guess. But yeah, I just like her ability. I think her stats are a little bit more, maybe not as good as Better Ray Bill, but I just had a better experience because she can move anywhere on the board, which is very helpful sometimes because you're going through, you're playing against like Venom or Dormammu. I'm probably saying that wrong, but Dormammu, he's another villain in the game. And where you need to go to other locations, sometimes it can be hard to do that. But Valkyrie, she can do that, which is phenomenal. She can literally go anywhere and use her stats to support that. And that is phenomenal for me. I think that's great. Great character. She's actually one of the highest overalls that I have rated in all of Marvel United right now. I'm still playing through all characters. I think I am missing about 10, 15 more characters. So I'll be almost ready to play. I'll be almost ready to have that full experience of playing every character. I'm close though. I'm very close. But I've played with Valkyrie, and I think she's really good. She's helpful in many ways, and she's not a good team player, but in a way she is, just because of how much she can do. Um, you know, like for example, a basketball player, you know, he can make 20 points a game, and he probably doesn't do lots of assists, but with those 20 points, they keep winning with that. Same thing with Valkyrie. She's making 20 points a game, not so much assist, not a lot of rebounds, but you know what? With those 20 points, they're always ahead of the game because she's having a good game. So, like that. Hopefully, you understand that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our ranking for today. It was in first place, it was Valkyrie. Second was Better Ray Bill. Third was Thor. And fourth was Korg. And that will wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. I am very happy that you did. Again, I have noticed more people are listening. Let's get more into it. Come on, we're doing great. I've seen how many people are listening to the podcast, and it has increased well. Thank you so much for spreading the word out. But if you can, we're still not done. You could still spread the word out. I would really, really appreciate it if you could do that. Yeah. Also, on our website, again, I released something called Second Take, which is opinions of my uncle and my father about Marvel United, about the characters, about the villains. Big fans, great gamers, I think, personally, especially my father. He's really nice. My uncle loves Marvel United. He's really into it. And we just had lots of fun with that game. He likes to analyze lots of stuff, so it'll be really interesting to get him into the podcast. So hopefully sooner or later we can set a time to do that. That would be really, really cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Ethan, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is Marvel. Or excuse me, gosh, man, I ruined the outro. I can't believe that. Wow. It's my own company, too. Dang it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Ethan, and this has been episode 13 of Roster United, not Marvel United. Have a good day.